Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we'll be going over a full card predictions for Tracey Cortez versus Namajunas from a picks, predictions standpoint and from a betting perspective as well. Before I get into the video, I want to do some housekeeping. Obviously, my number one priority to you guys is making good quality bets, making good quality reads, and growing my bankroll. That's always going to be the foundation, but I am trying to improve the quality of the videos, and I'm using new software, OBS. I've never really done much content creation in my life, so this is all brand new stuff for me. So if the quality video is not up to standard, I do apologize about that. Maybe you guys don't like the webcam or the outlay or whatever it is. And if you do have any improvements, please feel free to let me know. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. It's my second time recording this, so yeah, let's get into it. So what is bankroll? Of course, we are a betting channel. Make sure you guys have a bankroll, money set aside for betting purposes. Recommended staking strategies. Make sure you guys manage your risk very, very correctly. It's a long-term game. You don't want to put too much on one bet and be sweating it and really, really stressing about it. You know, one bet shouldn't make or break you. Grinding the marathon mindset. We are trying to day trade here, trying to grow our bankrolls over time. Treat it like an investment vehicle. If I invest in Apple stock tomorrow and it's the price that I don't even know what the price is, but this that $150, I wouldn't expect it to go up to 300 the very, very next day, right? Same with sports betting, grind, long-term game, have a investor's mindset. Actually, more like a trading mindset. Betting process is ongoing battle, right? So keep an eye out for the lines, see if some value opens up on the line. So yeah, let's get right into the breakdown. So obviously, we've got two new fights that got added. We've got Joshua Van versus Charles Johnson, Montel Jackson versus Blackshear. These fights are so good, I'm going to save them for the main card. Let's do Petroski versus Josh Fremd again. Now, when it comes to Petroski, he's got a southpaw boxing style on the feet. He has good boxing fundamentals. He throws powerful punches and looks to really, really swing. But Petroski's striking is often used to set up his grappling. But obviously, he is dangerous in stand-up exchanges due to his knockout power, so you can't write him off. But when it comes to his wrestling, he's got a wrestling style of grappling. And he knows about his cardio concerns, so he does not look to consistently shoot for 3 rounds hard and chain things together. He rather uses his wrestling shots more strategically to finish off a round strong. He does have good wrestling takedown entries though, but obviously a big flaw with Petroski, as mentioned, is that he does seem to visibly fatigue as the fight progresses. Josh Fremd, on the other hand, he's a southpaw striker. You know, he has decent, good accuracy, has a very, very nice left roundhouse kick to the body. He's a capable grappler, I would say. I think Pickett had some grappling success against him for periods, and he used his offensive grappling skills against Dumas to win that fight. He's gone for some guillotines in the past, which I don't really love when, you know, people try to shoot on him. And his defensive grappling was tested against Tracey. Obviously, he was taken down a ton by Fluffy Hernandez, but I can't hold that against him. Fluffy Hernandez is that animal. He's going to keep shooting for 25 minutes. Animal. So how these two match up, you know, Fremd's going to want to keep this fight standing. Look to wear on Petroski's cardio, while Petroski is going to want to reserve as much energy as possible, keep the fight competitive on the feet, maybe land some hard shot, and then look to mix up his grappling to grind out a win. Prediction standpoint, I think it's going to be a close, competitive fight, in my opinion. As Petroski fights do tend to play out quite competitive, but I'm going to pick Petroski here. I think he can grind out a close, competitive decision. Low confidence. If I was capping this and putting a percentage on it, I'll go 55% Petroski, 45% Fremd. From a betting perspective, I think let's check the odds again. The books have, okay, so money's come back in on Josh Fremd. So back and forth betting action here. I mean, it's a close competitive fight. I think you make strong arguments for both sides of the spectrum. But personally, I would have Petroski as maybe like a very, very slight favourite. Maybe like 1.80, something along those lines. Personally, I'll probably leave this one alone. I just see it as a very, very close competitive fight. Now, from a live betting perspective, obviously we have to keep an eye out for Petroski's cardio, see how it's holding up, but I wouldn't just be on a rush to fade Petroski's cardio as just a narrative. So, summary, classic striker versus grappler matchup is going to come down to whether Petroski is going to be able to secure the takedowns and impose his will with the grappling. So next fight we got Viviane Araujo versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Now, when it comes to this fight here, this is going to be a close competitive fight, in my opinion. I mean, who should we start off? We'll start off with Vivi. I suppose we'll start off with Vivi. So Vivi, I think she is a bit on a decline. I think she is slowing down. She's not as, she's not as effective as she once was. She looks to come forward, be aggressive, push a pace, look to use a kickboxing style of attack on her feet, but she's obviously a well-rounded fighter. She does have grappling skills as well. Jasmine Jasudavicius, on the other hand, she likes to be aggressive, but push a pace, put a pressure on opponents, and yeah, she's also a capable grappler as well. How these two match up, stylistic standpoint, I think this is a very, very well-matched fight. I think both fighters are skills and styles match up well and competitively. I'm going to have a slight lean towards Jasmine Jasudavicius, low confidence, because I think Vivi is on a decline. I do think this fight likely goes to over 2.5 rounds, but I do have some concerns with that because Vivi got dropped by Rebas. She got dropped by Andrea Lee. So yeah, overall, low confidence pick on Jasmine Jasudavicius. From a betting perspective, I mean, let's check the odds again. I agree with Jasmine Jasudavicius being a slight betting favourite. Maybe there's some value on the decision props. Maybe you can get Jasmine Jasudavicius, maybe plus 150, plus 140, something along those lines. Maybe if you guys lean towards the Viviane Araujo side from a bet perspective, maybe you get like plus 170 on Vivi to win by decision. But from a live betting perspective, probably one mile score round by round. I'll probably favour Jasmine Jasudavicius' cardio more as the fight progresses. So overall, low confidence pick on Jasmine Jasudavicius. So next fight we have here, we're back to where we started. For me anyways, because, I had to record this video. But luckily, didn't record the whole thing. I checked the camera, see I wasn't recording myself, which is frustrating. But hey, this is life we live, right? So next fight we have here, we've got Luana Santos versus Mariya Agapova. So who should we start? We'll start off with Santos. So Santos, she's got a plodding kickboxing striking style. She'll often throw like clubbing overhands, which is like a rarity in MMA, right? She looks quite physically imposing in the clinch, and she has some like judo throws in the clinch as well. I say she's like an okay grappler. I think she's more effective and stronger in the clinch than she is with like offensive wrestling and BJJ control. But I do think she's a fighter who's been making improvements to her games the past couple of years. Mariya Agapova, on the other hand, I mean, at one point, there was a lot of hype on this girl, right? And she was like, I think she was, like, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the biggest betting favourites against Charlotte Dobson. She's like 1.07. She lost that fight. She's mainly got a southpaw striking style on the feet. She's not bad. She's not a bad striker. She looks pretty fast. Good technique. And she often looks to set up her left-handed side attacks. The issue with her is that she does seem to fatigue and get slow as the fight progresses. And she has shown a weakness, a proneness to facing grapplers and the defensive aspect of the wrestling and BJJ game. I mean, she can often look to land ground and pound in the clinch positions, land heavy shots in the clinches of trying to work her way back out to the feet and escape those positions. How these two match up, prediction standpoint, passive victories. I think Agapova is going to fight on the outside, look to counter-strike as Santos is going to walk her down, put a pace, put a pressure on her. I'm thinking Santos could probably have success in the clinch because she does look strong there, and Agapova has struggled in the clinch positions in her previous matchups, like against Morose. So Santos is going to stalk her down. Mariya's going to fight on the outside. I'm going to pick Santos here. Low confidence. I also trust Santos more as the fight progresses. From a betting perspective, I mean, it's obviously let's check the price now. She is currently 1.43. So obviously it's quite a steep price to pay, right? You're not getting any discounts to back her in this fight, but I do think she is the more likely winner in this matchup, but this fight has potential to play out competitive, right? So you've got to be careful. Now, from a live betting perspective, I'll look to see if I can maybe target Santos from a live betting perspective. Maybe Mariya Agapova has a strong start and kind of fades as the fight progresses. So let's get to the next fight. So next fight we have here, we got under one of the newly added matchups, right? Great fight here. Great addition to the card. We got Montel Jackson versus Demon Blackshear. And now let's break down Blackshear first. Now Blackshear, he's got a wrestling style of grappling. He has good entries. He's more of a grappler who looks to like chain his wrestling attempts and grappling attempts instead of like shooting like a singular shot on the feet. And yeah, I'll say he's like a good offensive grappler and wrestler. On the feet, he's solid as well. He will throw a range of kicks, punches to set up his grappling. His potential, like I say, he's like maybe like a mid bantamweight, maybe like just below the mid level of the bantamweights. That's his potential and ceiling. Now Montel Jackson, on the other hand, he is a huge bantamweight, bruv. Huge. His hands are famous for being the same size as Francis Ngannou. He's definitely a physical specimen. Now, his style, he's mainly a southpaw style of boxer. He looks to land heavy with his heavy hands. He's solid overall striker and good overall technique. When it comes to his grappling, like his offensive grappling, he has offensive grappling, but it's mainly because he's so like physically imposing. And on top, I'd say he's like a better offensive grappler than like a defensive one. He has a history of struggling against strong offensive grapplers who can take him down and grind on him. For example, I mean, I'll say took him down towards the end of round one, but yeah. Another example is JB Bice took him down, had a body lock positions, had him in mount several times, body lock positions, took his back, and he's like a 125er. Brett Johns out-grappled him, and so did Ricky Samron. I mean, Montel, though, like he does have a good get-up game, so it's hard to control him for large portions of the fight, and he's so physically imposing. I think it just because like he gets grappled in certain fights, I don't think you can just be like, oh yeah, he's really, really weak, like just write him off completely. Now, how these two match up? This is obviously Demon's going to want to take this fight down to the ground, test Montel Jackson's ground game, test his defensive grappling skills. He's probably watching film saying, look, so-and-so fighter took him down. That's what it's going to likely do. Montel is going to want to keep this fight on the feet, look to land heavy shots, possibly look for a knockout. My prediction, I think Montel is the better striker. I think he is more physically imposing. So I do have a feeling that Demon's probably going to have a hard time struggling to get his grappling going. And I think Montel Jackson's one of those guys who is just dangerous throughout the fight. So I'm going to pick Montel Jackson here, low to medium level confidence. Tempted to make a medium level confidence pick, but maybe I can change the confidence level throughout the week. From a betting perspective, let's see the new odds. Be intrigued here. So a lot of money's been coming in. So Demon opened 2.45, money came in, made it pick him. Personally, I'd rather be on the Montel Jackson side more. Maybe there's a little bit of value on this fight from a betting perspective, but personally at the moment, just because I taped it like a couple hours ago, just gonna let my thoughts marinate a bit more. But summary overall, I am gonna pick Montel Jackson to get a victory in this fight. I think he's gonna work his way back onto the feet, have some heavy shots. So next fight we have here, we got Joshua Van versus Charles Johnson. Now Van is a young, talented fighter, mainly a boxing style of striker. He likes to be put at high pressure, be aggressive, look to overwhelm his opponents. He mainly throws in boxing shots as mentioned, and he has strong boxing fundamentals. And he throws in, what I really like about Van is that he throws in combinations instead of like singular shots. He lands like 9 significant strikes per minute, which is crazy, right? I'd say Van is an okay defensive grappler and an okay offensive one, but his striking is definitely his strong suit. Obviously, he's a young, talented fighter who's going to be making improvements, right? CJ, on the other hand, aka Charles Johnson, he's a good athlete. He won like the Tiger Muay Thai tryout things. Just correct me if I'm wrong there, but I mentioned good athlete. Like switch stances, he will throw both kicks and hands, and he likes to throw it like in volume. As like a fighter, and he has very, very good natural movement as well. He can get taken down because he's been facing so many of these wrestling grappling styles. He's developed a way to work his way back up to the feet, so it's hard to put him down nowadays. These two often like to take one, which is it's crazy to think about, right? So that all the slow starters. Now he's the victory here. Joshua Van, I mean, I think he's going to want to maintain a high pressure, use his aggressive style of fighting to overwhelm Johnson and prevent him from finding his rhythm. And he needs to scramble effectively if taken down and return to the striking exchanges where he's going to want to keep this fight, right? Now, Charles Johnson, on the other hand, he needs to, in my opinion, utilize versatility, use his diverse striking to keep down at distance and avoid getting into brawls. He's got a couple inch reach advantage, so he needs to use that to his advantage. And he also probably needs to mix in takedowns, look for opportunities to take down Van and control him on the ground, to nullify his striking, grind minutes, grind ran out. So yeah, I mean, this is an extremely summary. I mean, it's an extremely tricky, complex fight in my opinion. I think it's a very, very well matched fight. This is probably Van's biggest step up to date. I've been going back and forth for this one. So therefore, I think I'm going to pick Charles Johnson. He's a 2.50 underdog. I see this as maybe a 50-50 fight, 55-45 for one fighter. So yeah, I'm going to pick Charles Johnson. I think the value is on Charles Johnson, and I'm not surprised that Joshua Van is currently 1.57. I imagine more money is going to come in on him because he's a fighter who's been getting a lot of hype recently, and rightfully so. He's very, very talented fighter, very solid boxing fundamentals, right? So, but yeah, because there's going to be in my opinion, I think it's going to be a competitive fight. I'm going to go with value with Charles Johnson, but obviously, I don't want to be a cop. But if Joshua Van won this fight, it wouldn't surprise me at all. From a live bet perspective, I think one you just go round, see if you get a strong lead on each fighter. But yeah, great fight. Really looking forward to it. Definitely one of the fights on the card.
So next fight we have here, we got C-Rod versus Julian Erosa. Now, when it comes to C-Rod, he's got a solid southpaw kickboxing style. Obviously, he was a 135er who was forced to move up to 145 because he kept missing weight. On the feet, he has good boxing and will throw a wide range of attacks from kicks. And he has very, very nice knees. He can time those knees very, very excellently. And he can even throw some spinning stuff too, right? Now, when it comes to his grappling, he has good offensive grappling skills, I'd say. And he done very, very well to survive grappling avalanches from Bulgarian and Raul Rosas Jr. Quick round, but I had no money on it, but I thought he lost that fight against Bulgaria. Now, Erosa has good skills, but his chin is a huge liability. When it comes to his style, he has a hands down low boxing style of offense. And his hands are pretty crispy and fast, and even though his chin's been cracked, he's never going to shy away from a fight. He's going to come forwards and have zero fear. How these two match up? I think these two match up well from a skill set perspective. If it's just going off skills, it's probably going to be a competitive fight. But the reason why the line is 1.45 for C-Rod is because of Erosa's durability issues and liabilities, which totally makes sense in my opinion. So I'm going to have to pick C-Rod here, low confidence, because I think at some point there's a good chance that C-Rod's just going to be able to clip him, and that might be enough to get a knockout or win the round dominantly. So from a betting perspective, maybe I can get C-Rod at a slightly better line. I see some money's been coming on Erosa, which I get right. I backed Erosa against Ramos as an underdog, but I think my days of backing Erosa are gone. From a live betting perspective, maybe a situation where Erosa's having actually a lot of success and you could get a better line on C-Rod live and just hope at some point he can just clip Erosa. So yeah, overall, low level confidence pick on C-Rod to win this fight in my opinion. So next fight we have here, we got Cody Brundage versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. Now we go to the Brundage side. He's got a wrestling style and he comes from a wrestling background. He's not like the strongest like offensive grappler, but he is a capable offensive one. I'd say like he's a better offensive grappler than like a defensive one. Like if he's the one who gets taken down, he looks pretty weak off his back and he's just willing to often just close his guard and not really do too much. On the feet, he looks to throw like singular power shots. Obviously, he's a guy he can tie it as the fight progresses, and he's got like, hopefully he doesn't see this. I don't want to disrespect him, but he's a guy who's got quit in him, and I don't think he has the best mindset for fighting. And if things don't really go his way in a fight, he can often mentally collapse. Like overall, I'm not too impressed with Brundage, his skills and potential, mainly because of like his willingness to quit, like give up on himself. So because of that, hopefully he doesn't see this, but I'll put him towards the bottom of the middleweights division. Now, Razak Alhassan, on the other hand, he's an explosive, powerful striker who's a bit of a round one or bust type of fighter because he slows down as like the fight progresses. But he's changed up his style the past couple of fights. He tries to fight a lot more like composed in there ever since moving camps. But obviously, if you make him work, then he can tire. Against Joe Pyfer, though, like obviously Pyfer's a beast, he's an animal. His calf kicks were hurting Pyfer. I mean, he showed a good get-up game against Pyfer until he eventually got worn down. And you could probably do the same with Brundage. Maybe he can work his way back up to the feet. How these two match up, prediction standpoint, I'm going to pick Razak here to get the win. Even though he is 38, 1 month removed from 39, I do think he is the better, more explosive striker. And I think he has good enough defensive grappling to get back up to the feet. And I think he has more will, more heart to win. I mean, this is one of those fights that I'm going to have a low confidence pick on because like Razak, Brundage, both guys are not too trustworthy. But yeah, I do think Razak's probably the better fighter. But his age does concern me, not going to lie. But he's got more will, more grit to win. And yeah, from a betting perspective, I mean, I don't really want to bet. I don't really like betting Brundage. Guy I'm never really looking to target at all. Razak's likewise not really a guy I like to bet on. But I'll probably pass on this one. But if I was forced to pull the trigger, I'd much rather be on the Razak side, personally. Check the line. Yeah, Razak 1.66. I think that's a fairly accurate line. Maybe a little bit of value. Any other notes or anything else I want to say here? From my we need to talk about from a live betting perspective. I trust Razak's cardio and his will to win more than I trust Cody's. So yeah, give me Razak in a spot. Low confidence. So next fight we have here, we got Gabriel Bonfim versus Ange. Now when we go to Bonfim, his style is to be explosive, athletic, and powerful. With mainly his boxing attacks, he does mainly have a boxing style on the feet. He does have good boxing. I think I remember watching his fights and the commentators saying he's like 5-1 in boxing or something along those lines. When it comes to his grappling, he is able to secure good takedowns and he does have good takedown entries and he does have a good like against Dalby. Obviously, Dalby's shown like a proneness to being taken down, but he has some good ground control against Dalby. And he has shown abilities to have a good submission game. I mean, in his fight against Dalby, I don't really like how he got like worn down by Dalby like that. And in his previous round 3 fight against in his regionals, I can't remember the guy's name, like Albert or something like that. He got dropped in round 2. Luce, on the other hand, he's a fighter who relies on utilizing his athleticism, being explosive and be aggressive and come forwards. And I think his overall level is just below the mid levels of the welterweights. He has capable grappling skills, but I feel is not as advance as Bonfim's. Path to victories. If I was looser, I'll look to wear down Bonfim, make it a dogfight, and test the cardio again, make him kind of tire again. While Bonfim's going to want to try and keep the fight pretty and utilize his better, more well-rounded skills. I mean, from a pure pick perspective, I would pick Bonfim here because I do think he's the more explosive, powerful, better boxer, better technique, better grappler. I definitely think he could probably get a finish here because, I mean, Lutz is a guy who's been hurt multiple times, right, in fights. From a betting perspective now, listen to what I say carefully, you guys. I think there's more value on Lutz, yeah? I think there's more value on him, but I'm going to pick Bonfim. So for me, it's going to be a low to medium level confidence pick on Bonfim. Live betting perspective, I think this one could low-key be good for live betting. I think the fight could play out competitive at times, or it could be a situation where Bonfim's skills are just going to be too superior. But yeah, overall summary, I'm going to pick Bonfim to win this fight. Low to medium level confidence. So next fight we have here, we got the co-main event of the evening. We got Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov. Now, when we go to the Pons side, he is a pressure fighter. He's going to come forwards, put a pace, put pressure on his opponents, and look to land his boxing and low kick attacks. He also has good footwork and lateral movement, and he's able to go in and out of the pocket. The problem is he is getting old, and he's not looked like the same fighter since his injury and returning from his injury. I think it was quite serious. I can't remember what it was. It was like some infection. Before he was like a serious contender, but nowadays he does not look like the same fighter. Just skill wise, speed wise, reflexes wise, not the same fighter. Now, when we go to the Salikov side, he's got a counter style of striking on the feet. He's mainly a striker. He looks to like for his opponents to throw first, and then he looks to like counter back and land more powerfully. He's got good kicks, decent hands, and has very, very nice spinning attacks. He comes from like a kung fu background, I believe. So yeah, again, worried about his age. He's 40 years old. I mean, he just got deaded by Randy Brown. Randy Brown's not really out here deading many people. He got hurt against Dalby too. And he does fade as the fight progresses. And being age 40, that won't help at all, right? So from a prediction standpoint, I think Pons will win. I think he will get his pressure going. But overall, it's going to be a low confidence pick, right? The problem I have with this fight here, guys, is that we got I don't want to be too disrespectful, but we're trying to like make money for the markets, right? So we've got two like wash fighters here. One's 37, not looked the same since his infection, and his skills are not the same. But on the other hand, we've got a 40-year-old who's been chinned a couple times, and yeah, this for me at the moment, 1.48 for Ponzinibbio, like, is not something I'm really looking to target or bet at all. Like, I mean, people are probably going to come after the video and say, yeah, major value on Pons or major value on Salikov, blah, blah, blah. You got it all wrong. But from what I'm seeing right now, this is a fight that I like to completely avoid from a betting perspective. Obviously, if you gave me like pick 'em on Pons, then like maybe I'll pull the trigger small. But 1.48, break-even is around 70%. This is not really one I'm looking to target at all. I just feel it's too risky. Obviously, Pons should probably be the favourite, but yeah, overall, I'm going to pick Ponzinibbio to win this fight. Low confidence, but from a betting perspective, definitely one that I'm definitely going to avoid. So we go to the main event of the evening. Please, guys, if you are enjoying the video, you like the in-depth breakdowns, give me a like, give me a comment, share it to your friends, keep me motivated to keep producing the content. I do want to say thank you so much for tuning in to pretty much the very, very end. I really, really do appreciate it. I know there's a lot of betting podcasts out there, so competition stiff. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the main event of the evening. Obviously, this fight was recently booked, right? Cortez is coming in on like 2 weeks' notice. So who should we start off with first? We'll start off with Rose. So Rose is a former champion. She has very, very good wins against very, very high level girls, right? Her resume is very, very good. She also has very, very good footwork, movement, very good striking technique, and great accuracy with her punches and kicks. She's more of a fighter who looks to be more than like accuracy and find like those good shots than like be constantly active with volume. She can fight hard for 5 rounds, but like don't get me wrong, like she can fight for 5 rounds, but she does become less explosive and less sharp as the fight progresses. When it comes to her grappling, like Rebus took her down a few times, but Rose was able to reverse those positions. I mean, and Rose she's like a good, capable grappler in my opinion. Cortez, on the other hand, she's like a decent striker, I'd say. She's got a decent boxing style on the feet, good low kick as well, but her striking is used to set up as wrestling and grappling game. I'd say she's like a good offensive grappler. She has like she has like a good wrestling style of grappling. She's pretty effective on top. I'd say ceiling, I'd say, is like mid levels of the flyweights. How these two match up, like on the feet, I have to favour Rose here, right? Because I do think she is the better striker. So I think this fight comes down to whether Cortez is able to secure the takedowns. I also think this is like a massive step up in competition for Cortez. Like she's going from fighting fighters like Gatto. Like obviously I like Gatto. I made money on her last fight, but like so Gatto, Jasmine, Jasudavicius to like a former champion who's been there, done that. And it is her first 5-round fight. I think her cardio is good, but we don't truly know how she's going to look if the fight goes into round 4, round 5, which is probably going to likely happen, right? This fight's probably going to go to a decision. So I'm going to have to pick Rose Namajunas here. Low to medium level confidence. I mean, from a betting perspective, I think some of the early lines on Rose were good, like 1.6, 1.5. I probably would have pulled the trigger at that point. But I mean, a part of me thinks I think her best days are past her. Obviously, she's only still 32, but to me, it feels like she is a bit on a decline. So summary overall, I mean, we got a top tier contender in Rose Namajunas against a rising prospect in Tracey Cortez. I mean, I'd say Rose's well-rounded skill set and championship experience gives her the edge in this matchup, but Cortez's grappling style and wrestling style could pose some challenges for Rose. So, I mean, Rose is definitely the safer pick, but maybe some of you guys think there's some value on Cortez, but if she can implement her grappling game. So that's the end of the breakdowns. I really, really appreciate you guys tuning in to the end. Cliche stuff, make sure you want to like, comment, keep me motivated, keep producing the content. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Super duper appreciate it. And good luck with your bets this weekend, guys. And if you disagree with me with certain vibes, feel free to leave a comment. I love talking to you guys in the comments. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite things, is reading the comments and replying to them. Unless you're a Captain Hindsight. Nobody likes Captain Hindsight. If you've got something to say about a fight, say it beforehand, yeah? So, without further ado, thank you once again, yeah?